So.
So Caleb, what should we be doing right? Like what's
check.
Yeah. So do you see a place that you could set up like going live right now?
So I'm live. I just text Flex the link. Well, I don't. Hopefully that's the link.
And to you, Caleb.
Okay, sweet.
I think that's what it is.
Look at that. So I can hop in there, and then I can also email everybody.
Check. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're in there.
Oh, well, looks like people jumped over here. I don't know, but I can't see any questions, so maybe. Unless are the questions gonna be back on the what you call it?
We'll have everybody throw questions in that comment feed.
All right, dope. Sorry, y'all. It's technical difficulties, y'all. For everybody checking me out right now. Little technical difficulties. So you know how hey, you just saw the documentary, so you know it's real over here, man. I'm trying to pull up y'all's question side right now so I can see what people are saying as I'm sitting here yapping with y'all. There we go. Hold on, I missed it. Bam. There we go. All right. Y'all can see me? Well, I don't know. Ain't nobody saying nothing in the live chat, so hopefully they can see me. Okay, good. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so right now, a lot of y'all just saw the road to restoration, and essentially what y'all saw was, you know, a part of the journey. It's not the full picture, but it's a quick snapshot of what restoration has looked like in my life. I mean, if you want the full, you're going to get a fuller picture with the album. So the album's going to give you like the musical journey of the road to restoration and, you know, walk you through this process artistically and musically. And then, of course, the book is going to give you like the details, the nitty gritty, like, you know what I mean? Like the details. I talk about a lot of stuff in that book. So all the questions that people have been wondering, how I navigated mainstream, the temptations, the trials, the failures, you know what I mean? So all that stuff is going to pop off. You know what I'm saying? What is CP time? Y'all know what CP time is? But outside of that, man, you know, yeah, you'll learn a lot from there. But the album is really like a picture, really like God just opened my eyes to the fact that restoration could really happen. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't believe it because my situation was so grim and so dark. And so I was in such a dark place. And then when God started to restore my faith, my hope, my sense of purpose, I just started coming out of that dark space. And I started having compassion for other people who were in dark spaces and places. You know, I remember when Aisha Curry, you know what I'm saying, was going through her problems. And, you know, I just wanted her to have a safe place to talk about her issues. So I want y'all to have a safe place. Here's an album so that, you know, people in my shoes and going through what I go through still battle. So you can listen to the music and be encouraged by the music. And it's a journey. So every song is a progression and there are different parts of the journey. So you just hear Drown by itself, you're like, oh man, this sounds so dark or whatever, but it's a progression. So when you just hear, you know, like you hear set me free is like, I'm tired, I need freedom, you know what I'm saying? But then by the time you get to Drown, it's like, yo, like I'm drowning in this, like help. And then of course, by the time you get to Zombie, it's like a reflection on where I came from. And so there's so many other tracks in between that help tell this story, you know what I mean? That just allow people to walk with me on this journey. And then, of course, the documentary is like letting you see some of the behind the scenes of how I was making this album and what I was personally dealing with. You just see my regular life. You know, I never let nobody in my house before. So just a rhythm. And then last but not least, you know, you're going to have the book that's going to give you the details. But then I'll also show you specifically how God started tweaking me and tweaking my perspective. You know, what verses that I was looking at. And then on top of that, just some of the real ugliness. Like I don't try to paint a pretty picture in this book at all. Like I just keep it real, raw and funky. You know what I mean? Like if I'm a firm believer of like, man, if you're gonna lead in vulnerability if you're gonna be a leader. So I'm just like, maybe somebody will be helped by what I'm dealing with. So that's really what it comes down to, man. I'm sure anybody who saw the documentary probably has some questions, and you know what I'm saying? I know I'm on a live stream right now, so everybody's seeing it. But some people saw the documentary, some people didn't. But it's all good. I'm on a public stream, so everybody who got to see the doc early, welcome. Everybody who didn't get to see the doc, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But yeah, so definitely get the album, because the album is a artistic musical journey of what I went through restoratively. Those who saw the documentary, you know what I went through. And those of you who didn't, you will see on the 14th. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to take some of the questions. Obviously, I'm sure some of y'all got an email if you got the documentary where you can like submit some questions, but I'll also just holler at people, you know what I'm saying, here as well, and just, you know what I'm saying, deal with whatever questions that people may have. So, you know what I'm saying, let's get to it, man. Y'all got some questions? You know what I'm saying? I see somebody already asked, am I really retiring? And for me, it's not so much like I don't ever want to make music anymore, or I'm done making albums. It's more so like music will not be the centerpiece of my world. So I'm not pressed to go on tour. I'm not pressed to get an album out. I'm just like, it's something that I can do, something that I'll do if I feel led to do it. But it's not something that I feel like, yo, I just got to do this. Like, especially like touring. So the next time, if you catch me on the road, like go, because you ain't no telling if I'm gonna come back. Just being honest. I got kids now, man, and I just want to be in my kids' lives, and you know what I'm saying? Just, want to be able to handle my kids, and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, what else we got going on? Fans, what else y'all see? You know what I mean? I'm not sure. It's a lot going on, y'all. I apologize for all the technical difficulties. This ain't how it was supposed to be, but it just, unfortunately, stuff got, mixed up and messed up. So, told to answer questions below, but I'm not sure which questions below I'm supposed to answer. So I'm just answering these questions that I see right now, because I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, what those particular questions I've been instructed to ask, you know what I'm saying, answer are. So that being said, somebody asked, like, how do you see the body of Christ after some of his members have hurt you so badly? Got to read the book for that. I get really intense with that one. I talk about it. I talk about what happened to me. I talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on in these Christian spaces, because a lot of y'all don't know, man. And I don't want to mess up nobody's faith, but I've seen how the sausage is made, from a high level, and it's dark, you know what I mean? But God is the light in the darkness. And so y'all will see, you know what I'm saying, what really went down. You know what I'm saying? What is it like to have so many eyes on everything that you do? I hate it. If I'm honest, it's one of the most difficult parts of growing, because everybody's watching you grow. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a perspective and an opinion on what you do and how you move, and an expectation, and you're just not allowed to grow. Really, what it is like artists and public figures are objectified. So to objectify somebody means like, I don't see the fullness of who you are and all of your dynamics. I just want what I want from you. So I'm objectifying you. So when a man objectifies a woman, he just wants the physical intimacy with her, and that's it. Like, she's not a person. She's just a thing that he can get what he wants out of her. And that's what it's like being a public figure. You get objectified. I just want the thing I can get out of you. If that's the music, whatever it is, you're not a dynamic person with opinions and perspectives. And so you're not capable of growing. You're not capable of making mistakes. You're just supposed to be what I need you to be. and it's really unfair. But you know, there's no sympathy for winners, man. And if people look at you like a winner, you know what I'm saying, then they're not gonna be sympathetic to that. So I'm trying to see what else we got going here. It's a lot of questions zooming in, man. Yeah, I'm looking for anybody specifically who saw the doc, like, you know what I'm saying, that you had any questions about, you know, that and watching that, you know what I mean. Film movies, you can't have two videos open at once. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, let me see what we got going on here. And so many questions. They coming in like a storm. Will I write another book after this? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, this book was I pretty much put it all out there. Not pretty much, I put it all out there. So I don't know what like, my mom ain't even seen it. You know what I'm saying? But it's really a lot of intricate details, and then mostly telling on myself, telling about the stuff that I've experienced and gone through. So you'll hear it. How are things with my dad now? That's a good question. If you saw the documentary, you saw some interesting pieces with me and my dad, and I would say, you know, what I said in the doc is pretty much where we are to this day. You know what I'm saying? My expectations from him are the same as they were after everything you saw. So, yeah, it's really, it hasn't been any, you know, it's something you move very slowly in. So you don't try to push it and force something. You just move slow and let God, it's all in God's timing. So I'm just allowing the Lord to do. Being honest with him, when I met him, that was tough because my sister was more upset than I was. So she was like, so I had to be the balance because she was ready to go crazy. Like, there's some parts y'all didn't see that we edited out where we did get intense. But it was like I had to balance. I had to be the balance. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a little more upset in that conversation. And then he did say some stuff that upset me. So then I was like, all right. And y'all saw that part where I'm like, yo, I don't want nothing. So I had to be the balance in the dynamic. And I was just, you know, I had been through so much personally that I was willing to sit there and wrestle with him. You know what I mean? Like, because I had experienced so much transformation, restoration, and growth. I wanted for everybody. So I wanted to see if he wanted restoration relationally. And so that's what even led me to being in that situation in the first place. So I do think, which song is Hidden Kanye feature? Yo, man, y'all funny. I do want people to experience this all collectively, because no one piece, it's all a puzzle. The documentary, the album, the book are all different pieces of a puzzle. So you get a full picture of what restoration looks like with all of the pieces. The album, I think, is my best work. Everybody says this is my best work, but I think you can't be fully creative if you have, if you're struggling mentally and emotionally. So what God created us to be were made in his image, little creators, you know what I mean? And so we're not at our best when we're stifled in our relationship with God. We're not at our best when we're stifled with who we are, what our purpose is. And so our creativity stifled. So I haven't been this creative in a long time because I've been so hindered. If you heard All Things Work Together, that was a lament, and I was struggling to get that out, like struggling. It was a fight to get that music out. But this was more like, man, this is the freest and most creative I've felt in a long time. I haven't felt this free and creative since Anomaly. And I think I know myself better than I knew myself during Anomaly, because I've been in therapy for 2 years. So I needed therapy during Anomaly, but didn't go get it. And I feel better now. How did the Stanford creative sessions come together, and what came out of that is on this album? So for y'all who saw the doc, of course you saw us at Stanford University, and Stanford was less about how to make an album. I know how to make an album, and they don't. right? They're not music artists. What the design school is a school that teaches that taught us, that we collaborated with on helping people experience something, creative experiences. So we wanted to design an experience, and this is part of that, right? Like the documentary, the book, the album, all of that was created at the design school. The people who worked on this documentary were at the design school with us, so the doc wouldn't have come about without that. The artwork, it's just all a big piece of it. What I was really inspired by, honestly, how this happened was seeing Beyonce's Homecoming, and it was pieces, right? It's the dancing component, it's the school, the HBCUs, it's her Coachella performance, and then it's an album. And it was like there was a lot of thought. Some people think this stuff just happens. It's not. It doesn't just happen. Like you don't just, oh yeah, documentary, book, album, restoration, let's do that, done. It's thought, and you're putting pieces together, and you're finding the right collaborators, and the art, and the photographer, and how the video texture is going to feel. So all of these particular things were things that we really thought out and spent time with. And of course, we had a tour element that really would have brought it together. But the tour element, obviously, COVID happened. And then on top of that, it's like pulling in what Lecrae does naturally. So what I'm going to do naturally is I'm going to want to help a school in the worst community in Atlanta. I'm going to want to help the homeless with the sinks, the hand washing stations. I'm going to want to bring masks to people. Like, that's just who I am naturally. So how do we help people see that this is all a part of a restorative journey? Like, me being restored means I go restore. So your restoration means you restore other people. And that's kind of the way that is. I'm sorry, that was a long answer. How much of an impact did my trip to Jerusalem have on the album? Pretty huge, man. It was a big part of restoration for me as a person. So, you wouldn't have a lot of times when you listen to some of my older stuff, like you listen to Sidelines or you listen to Fear, I'm trying to think of some other songs. I'm just mad. I'm mad at people constantly just like assuming my motives. I'm mad at people just like, oh, he's doing it for the money, or he's this, or Illuminati. So I'm just mad. And you hear a lot of venting of frustration. And then that venting took me to such a dark place that I just didn't care. And then when I didn't care, like in a bad way, I was like, it's kind of like somebody's like, yo, I know you're gonna cheat on me. I know you're gonna cheat on me. I know you're gonna cheat on me. Like, no, I'm not. Stop saying that. You're like, what? Forget it. I'm cheating on you. This is what you want to believe? Forget it. I'm done. And that's kind of how I felt about my interaction with fans. It was like, you're a seller. I'm not. No, I'm not. No. You know what? Forget it. I'm done with y'all. I'm out. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt. And then the pain of that was in All Things Work Together. Restoration is me saying, Jerusalem, and all of that is me saying, man, God, you're so good to piece me back together and to realize that your people are flawed just like me. But there's grace for them. And I don't get bent out of shape anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, I temper myself, but I realize, man, nobody says the things that they say online to you in person. Nobody ever runs up on you and says, yo, man, why you a sellout? Like, nobody ever does that. So you move on. Who in my community did I reach out to when I was going through my depression? And what advice do I have others getting started? You gotta have friends when you're going through mental illness episodes, family. Like even when you like check into a hospital or you go to the doctor or whatever, they're gonna ask, like, do you have a group of people around you? So if you don't have them, start dating people now. Like, date friends. The way you date someone of opposite sex or whatnot. Like, go date friends. Like, yo, man, like, what I'm saying? Let's go play football or do something. You know what I mean? Like, just to get people around that you can have in your corner for life. But it was so crucial for me to have good friends. Shout out to BJ. Shout out to AT. Shout out to Tadashi. Shout out to Leonce. Shout out to Montel Jordan. Shoot, what I'm saying? Those are some of the, shout out to my man Q Parker. Those are some of the close people around me. And man, AT, man, a big shout out to him, my man Adam Thompson, who flew, and shout out to Ben Washer as well, my business partner. But AT flew in town when I was going through that dark space. My road manager too, Derek, but you know, the biggest thing in those situations is having somebody around you who can walk with you through those particular things. So make sure you have that. How come our restore was only a minute? I thought we were supposed to receive a full song. Are you being difficult? Are you being difficult right now? Well, how long is a full song? What is a full song? Like, what makes a song a full song? I'm just saying, like, where does the definition come from? Yes, there will be a physical copy of the album. Is the Ford, my wife's car, was gifted to me. The Chevy, it was a gift. Yeah, my father-in-law gifted it to me. He really treated me like a son, and so he wanted me to have that, and he wants me to pass that down, you know, throughout the family for generations. So, man, y'all tear up if I start talking about that relationship. But man, my father-in-law, just a great man, yo, and just for him to invite me to be a part of his legacy, that just was, yeah, I mean, like, that was massive to me. So, yeah, I don't want to cry right now, but it was massive. It was very, 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 very big for me. What have been some things that I've used during this time to help combat depression? Here's the thing. When we talk about depression or anxiety, like, I can say, so some people, we're not just talking about like a bad mood. We're talking about like you're unable to function as you normally would and could. And so, you know, I really needed professional help. So I really needed to seek counsel. And I think it's putting yourself in that process of finding therapists. And I had to date therapists too. That was tough because I probably went through about 7 to find one that I really connected with. No, I'll take that back. I went through 9 and found 3 out of the 9 that were really helpful for me. So it takes work. There's that part of the work. And you're like, yo, I'm dying right now. I don't have time to be hunting down somebody who can help me. I'm dying right now. But you'll survive. It feels like you won't, but you will. You'll get through it. You have to remember that. You have to think about what you're thinking about. So you can't think negative. You can't ruminate on negative things all the time. And that's the temptation when you're experiencing a depression or anxiety, is to think on negative things. You have to think about, okay, what am I thinking about? And what I learned is to kill the ants, you know, the negative thoughts, any negative thoughts, kill them. And you know, what I would do is I'd say, so let's say I had a thought like, nobody loves me. I'd say, okay, is that true? No, it's not true. Like, name people who love you. This person. Is that absolutely true? No, it's not. Okay. How would you feel if you knew that wasn't true? I'd feel awesome. I'd feel like, okay, let's imagine that it's not true. And then you just start walking yourself through this process so that you can talk out of it. And then I memorize a lot of scriptures, because you need to combat, the Bible says to take captive these thoughts. And so I would have to take them captive and think on these things. God says, renew your mind. So I was renewing my mind, meditating on scriptures and remembering things. So that stuff is very, very important for me. I kept a journal. You know what I'm saying? My journal's right here. I kept a journal. And, some of the scriptures, like I'm going to just show y'all some of the stuff that that I was battling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, here's one right here. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm tripping. I'm tweaking. Right here. So it's probably backwards. Y'all probably can't see it. But basically, it's like sadness, guilt, depression, anxiety. And then I was reminding myself that God's grace was like an umbrella covering me. And it was, Lord, help me rest in your peace and your power. Daniel 9. The Lord is merciful and forgiving. You know what I'm saying? And just reminding myself of God's goodness. I draw pictures, I would journal and just fill it up, man. And that was very, very helpful for me during that period of time. And just reminding yourself that there's grace today for what happened yesterday, and reminding yourself of God being a restorer. That's what he does. He's excited to restore. So I had to remind myself that God was excited to restore. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take a couple more, man, and I'm gonna have to dip. I'm staying longer because, you know what I'm saying, I feel like I cheated y'all by not being out here. So how did I go about creating a music video for Zombie? Zombie was basically a song I wanted to write, and people didn't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Folks at Reach was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Yo, trust me, fam. Like, it's playful, it's soulful, kind of churchy, but it's raw." And I said, in order for it to be communicated clearly to the fans, I think we need to do an animated video so that they can see like the playfulness of it, but the seriousness of it. So some people you may have teared up on it, or you may have like, but it's a happiness to it. Because that's at the end of the day, I think my man Albert Tate said this. He said, you got to take the glitter off the cross. And the glitter off the cross is like, yo, the cross ain't shiny and glittery. Like Jesus died, you know what I'm saying? Had to die for us. And I wanted to make sure people recognize that, like, it was bloody, it was gruesome, it was ugly. And Zombie represents, like, it was bloody, it was gruesome, it was ugly. But man, I'm so happy. Like, it's end of the day, it's still a happy song, like, because I'm free, you know what I mean? Like, who the sun sets free is free indeed. And man, that was just like, you know, I wanted to do that artistically, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I'm trying to see, I mean, what else we got going on here? What's my advice to people who struggle staying motivated, making music, waiting on the Lord to answer with that problem? Man, you know, listen, how can I start? Let's see. Yeah, it's a lot of good questions right here. So I'll just say this, as far as any aspiring artists out there, do it because you love to do it. Like, so often we set this benchmark, like stages and awards and stadium. I never thought about any of that stuff. I never was like, oh, one day I'm gonna be on a big stage with awards. And I just wanted to help people. You know what I mean? That's it. I wanted to go into the juvenile detention center where I started and help those boys every day. And then that music spread. And then I got to go to a camp where there were, like, you know, all this is in the book as well. But then I got to go to a camp and there was more people there. And I just wanted to help those folks at the camp. God just kept elevating me. So it was in his timing. I was not looking for any of it. Like I tell people all the time, when I won a Grammy, I didn't expect to win. I was trying to meet somebody on the red carpet. I wasn't trying to go down there and accept an award. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, I like this question. What are the ripple effects from restoration? So restoration is like kinetic energy. So when you start that process and you really get into it, and I've done a lot of things. Like I've done a therapeutic process called EMDR that helps your brain to reconcile the traumas that you've experienced so that you don't like dwell in those things. It's like kinetic energy. I just get better and better and better. Every day is better. And when you're feeling like, man, I'm not getting any better, like you keep a journal so you can look back and say, whoa, I was there in that dark place. That's crazy. Because today feels bad, but it doesn't feel like that. And so you can even be joyful of where God has brought you from. And then when you look at the book of Judges, it's like cycles. Like Israel messes up, God helps them. Israel messes up, God helps them. It's like a cycle. And the problem was that they just kept forgetting how good God was. They kept forgetting what he brought them out of. And we're the same way. We keep forgetting that God brought us through some stuff. And restoration is like when you come out on the other side better, you're like, oh, shoot, you've been walking me this whole time. It's not quick, though. Maybe it might be for some of you, but generally speaking, it doesn't happen quickly. You know what I mean? I think about the man who was laying at the pool of Bethsaida, I believe it was, and he couldn't walk for 38 years. And even though Jesus came in a moment, was like, do you want to be healed? And he's like, yes. He says, all right, get up and walk. He was still there for 38 years. So it wasn't quick. Like to us, it's like, wow, he just healed him. Wow, look how quick Jesus did that. But it wasn't quick because this man had been waiting on that healing for year after year after year, sitting by that pool every year, waiting for his blessing and his healing to come through. So y'all have to remember that God is not transactional. He's relational. He's going to walk with you through it. You might take you a while, but when he says get up and walk, you're going to walk. So Anyway, man, I love y'all. You got to get the book. The book is going to give you the most intricate details and the life-changing stuff, because everything I'm saying right now, you have it right in a book, and you can just keep coming back to it and saying, okay, I can process this. You know what I mean? And the documentary, of course, you see a lot of this process. You know what I'm saying? You funny, DC, with the apples, man. You know, man, I'll just say, man, continue loving people, continue being, you know, gracious to people, because God is going to be gracious to you. I would love to go to South America. I see that question keep popping up. Get the promoters together, man. We'll make it happen when COVID ends. Everybody who's wrestling with mental illnesses, I have a lot of compassion for Kanye. Prayers for Azealia Banks as well. Even though you may not agree with where they are, what they say, the mental battles are real, and you have to take that into consideration as you navigate that stuff. So I love y'all, man. I'm excited for y'all to hear this album. I'm really excited for y'all to get this book. Restoration is a process. Get all the way in. If you want what God has next for you, this is a great way to begin that. Watch the doc, listen to the album, and get the book. And I promise you, if I know for a fact God will start massaging some stuff and making some stuff happen. Yeah, everybody who's watching the doc, it releases soon. And so if you pre-order the book, obviously you got to see it. So congratulations to y'all. And the documentary comes out on the 14th. But make sure you pre-order the book. All right. Go to Amazon right now, pre-order it. For a lot of different reasons. You get some cool stuff, obviously. And we're gonna keep the ball rolling with some other amazing little things. You know what I'm saying? If I travel, you may see me. But even outside of that, man, go to pre-order it. Go to Amazon, wherever you pre-order books from. Go do it for real. Do it right now, because it tells the system, the world, that what people are interested in, what they need. So that is all I got for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one more time, the book come out on October 13th, but you got to pre-order it right now. The documentary comes out on the 14th, and that's it, man. Love y'all to death. God bless y'all. Good night.